it feels surreal, dude. And I feel um I truly feel like I've unlocked this special secret that nobody knows about, and I want to just run around and tell everyone what the secret is. And the secret is I started out at open mics and karaoke bars, and from there to where things are currently is a huge gray area. But the secret is if you work your ass off and you believe in yourself and you go all in, um, these things can really happen in real life without connections and all that shit. It really does come down to just hard work and not being afraid to ask the universe what you want, and that correlates to, you know, like me texting you or calling you, and just being like, hey, we're that love music. We have history. There's even further history because of Canadian Idol, but at the end of the day, we're just people that love music, and you know, um, so it just feels incredible. And it's like I think the most exciting part about it is that um, I'm getting the opportunity to have an even bigger platform to spread this message. So very grateful and just really excited. I mean, it's a crazy, it's I'm having the time of my life, dude. I'm not gonna lie, and it's amazing. It's unbelievable.
I'm living vicariously through you with your updates on the shows and the singles and the chart topping and all that stuff, which is great.
Thanks, man.
So what you just said reminded me of something called the hero's journey. So this comes from Joseph Campbell. He had a book called, I believe it's The Hero with a Thousand Faces, and he popularized this thing called the hero's journey. So every human being, um, every plot in every book, every movie, every video game, the person goes through the hero's journey. And that's kind of what you just described, which is, everyone's just living their life and they get this call to action. So in your case, it's this call to music. And at first we're scared because this is getting outside of our comfort zone. So you dabbled in music and then you let it go for 10 years. So that's the first step, is you're aware of the call to adventure, but you're just not ready for it yet. It's too scary. It's too new. So that's the first part of the hero's journey. Eventually, it's usually something traumatic and life-changing that happens, usually a negative, that pushes you outside of that comfort zone to actually take that call to adventure. And in your case, it was a bad breakup. And, some people it's a death or a loss of a job or whatever. So the bad breakup is what makes things so bad that you're like, things can't get worse than this. So I might as well start doing what I think is right. And you actually accept the call to adventure. So you go out on this adventure. So for you, it's the shows and winning the competitions and the major label, the chart topping, all that stuff. And you meet new people, you learn new things, you develop new skills. And then a part of the hero's journey is you feel the need to come back to where you started and share what you learned.
Yeah.
That's the full circle of the hero's journey, is you having the courage to go and do that, and coming back with the spoils, coming back with the treasure, and sharing that with your community, and them saying that's what's available out there if I step out there. So I feel like that's exactly what you just described in your little response to, hey, what's going on today and how does the album feel? Does that seem accurate? Like, I didn't have that
Yeah.
prepared. That just
I,
came to me right
no,
now.
I've never heard of that before. That's incredibly inspiring, but that's exactly it, man. It's like I'm I mean, I can't tell you in the last just 4 weeks, there a fan of mine reached out to me and told me she called off year and a half engagement because she heard my story and she just resonated so well with it, and she knew she was in the wrong place and she needed to get out. And I mean, people have told me they've sold their houses and went back to school, and just recently graduated. They started following me at the beginning, and I mean, like this kind of, that kind of shit. That's real shit, man. That's more important than anything I'll ever become. It's just I mean, you remember, like, people don't know this, but like, you remember I used to come out to Marco Polo for those big roundtable meetings where everyone would, talk with each other and get to know each other and network. And, I was part of that long before any of this started, so I've always knew that, you know, I've always known the message of thoughts become things. I've always known the law of attraction and act as if and all of that stuff. But I think you can take that to the wrong place too, and the wrong place for me was, sales for heating and cooling. I'll always be good at that job. It's not about the furnace, it's about the person. It's about being able to talk to people and understand people's needs and wants. And I'm not doing any of this shit for fame or money, believe me, because if it was money I was after, I'd still be selling furnaces. And I've said that so many times. But music fills my soul. It's like it's what I truly live for. And we joke and we say, like, I hold the record in Ontario for the most top fives in a karaoke contest, but I've never won it. you know and but it's like, at the time, that's what I had to do. That was the opportunity for me to live out my passion, not realizing what was happening is those open mics at Boston Pizza and Marco Polo and karaoke nights. That was igniting a fire. It was relighting a fire that had been lit back when I was 12 and 13. And then just things started to snowball. And so for me, while I'm trying to, take it all in, all the stuff that's happening, I'm also wanting to give the same amount of time to come back. And when I say come back, I don't mean to, a different level. I just mean come back to where I started, to say, guys, like, look at this shit, man. I'm on a record with the biggest country stars in the country. That's crazy, and I'm not bragging about it. It's just, I think it's insane. I can't believe it, but I have to believe it because this is what it's become. And I might be going on a rant here, but the other day I was talking to some close friends and I said, I want to try and explain something to you. And I don't know if this is going to make sense, but the last 4 years, I've been creating this Frankenstein. I've been working on this thing. And in the last 6 months, not even the last 3 months, I've pulled the lever and that son of a bitch stood up, and now he's walking and I'm responsible for it. I mean, that's a crazy thing. When you work towards something and then you actually start to see it coming together. I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm grateful. There's so many feelings, but you're right. The most important thing is just to show other people that don't look at the Frankenstein when it's completed and go, wow, that's impossible to achieve. You got to start with the why you want to do it in the first place and build from there. And then all the pieces start coming together like a transformer. But then you got to be responsible for that transformer once it's completed. And that's something that's very serious, So, yeah, man, it's just crazy.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's important that you talk about your past and where you come from. Because if all you talked about was today, where people see the chart topping albums and singles, like, oh, that's cool. Like, born with a silver spoon and it was for him. And so for you to be open and talk about, it's the struggle and it's the human component that makes people compelling. That's what people are drawn to. They say there's no what is it, there's no testimony without a test or something like that. So they say the struggles will be a part of the acceptance speech someday. So whenever you're on stage accepting that next award, just remember that you'd have no story if it was that easy.